Yes, so we have one to add here under closed session camera FOIP section 17 legal disclosure harmful to personal property. Anything else from anybody? So we'll move into the public hearing, and I'll call that meeting to order. Open the public hearing, request verify that the notice was given. I'd like to verify that notice was given of the public hearing and has been conducted as required by the Municipal Government Act, and this is for hearing for bylaw 2017-46, road closure. Is there anybody present that has any objections to any member of council presiding at the hearing? Is there any written submissions to be distributed to the members and the applicant? Will the presentation proceed?
Good morning. The bylaw 2017-46 road closure public hearing is for the purposes of closing portions of undeveloped road plan that lie within the south of 52225 west of the 4th as follows. Area A from Speargrass Circle subdivision plan 0712224 to close 0.210 hectares. Area B from close 0.03 hectares. Area C from Speargrass Boulevard subdivision plan 0311145 close 0.237 hectares. And lastly, Area D from Wyndham Park View subdivision plan 0311146 0.046 hectares. These areas are part of the original road plans that are currently developed as green spaces or parks. They are curbed apart from the developed road surfaces, do not form part of the actual road themselves. Closure of these areas from the road plans and creation of titled areas will permit public amenities such as picnic tables and pergolas to be permitted, as they won't be sitting in a road plan. The closed areas will be retained in the ownership of Wheatland County. And once the bylaw is complete and titles are created at land titles with the completion of the bylaw, they will be redesignated as parks and recreation and will then permit the permitting for other uses. Circulations were sent out as required under the MGA to all interested parties. No letters or concerns were received in objection. The next steps after the acceptance of this public hearing will be the forwarding of all the relevant information to the Alberta Transportation Minister for review and approval by that office.
Okay, thank you. I assume we're the applicant on this one, right?
Yes, we're the applicant through the chair, as we are attempting to create a situation where these areas that we have created as park amenities can actually be treated as such.
Okay, is persons in support of the application? Is there anybody that has any concerns with the application? Any final comments from staff? Well, thank you. And I'll close the public hearing on this one particular, and then we'll open the next one. So we'll move on to bylaw 27-59. Open the public hearing for it to designate plus or minus 1.99 acres within a portion of Southeast 3, 24, 22 west of the 4th Meridian from agricultural district to public utility district. So we'll open the public hearing. Has the verification been completed as needed?
Yes, Mr. Chair, all notifications have been sent out and it's been advertised for 2 weeks in the paper.
Okay. Does anybody present have any objections to any member of council presiding at this hearing? Is Is there any written submissions to be distributed to the members and the applicant? Would the staff please proceed?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's just loading.
Sure.
Okay, this is the public hearing for bylaw 2017-59. It's to redesignate a portion of the Southeast 32422 from Agricultural General District to Public Utility District to facilitate the development of a truck fill station off of the regional water line. My recommendation is that council undertakes the public hearing for bylaw 2017-59. Just get a brief update. I'm going to try to zoom in here so we can see it a bit better. Doesn't seem to be able to let me. Oh, here we go. There we go. So the proposed redesignations to accommodate a pressure booster station and a regional water truck fill from the water line. The intent of the applicant is that the redesignation application will precede a subdivision application for the roughly 2-acre site. It will either then be owned by Rockyford or Wheatland Regional Corp, but they can get into more specifics on the ownership with their presentation. We did receive 3 items of correspondence in connection with the application. So we are recommending that council undertake the public hearing for bylaw 2017-59, and that concludes the presentation for the public hearing.
Thanks, Colton. The applicant. Is there a presentation from the applicant? Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the members of council and staff, I'm Theo Owell. I'm a senior project manager with MPE Engineering, and also in the audience, Mr. Baha Hassesni. He's the general manager of Wheatland Regional Corporation, and Sarah Frappitro, and she's a design engineer with MPE as well. And MPE Engineering made the application on behalf of Wheatland Regional Corporation. Just in terms of some opening comments, I guess I want to highlight the fact that this is a proposal for a public utility as part of the regional system, and I guess it's intended to serve the farming community for bulk water supply as well as rural fire departments. Sarah will go through a series of slides trying to introduce you to the project. And with that, I guess I'll turn it over to Sarah, and then Mr. Hassesni will be able to answer any follow-up questions if there are any.
Okay, I do have some slides to go over. I'm not sure why it's not showing up here. Oh, it's back here. Okay, it's just the wrong side. So basically, this project involves a truck fill station and a future booster station. The project funding is 50% Clean Water Wastewater Fund from the federal government, and the other 50% is from Wheatland County, supported by Agricultural Service Board and Wheatland Regional Corporation. This truck fill is to fulfill the need for bulk water for the agriculture community and residents in the area, as well as rural fire supply between Standard and Galician. So for this project to be economically feasible, the truck fill would need to be along the along the treated water line alignment, which goes down Range Road 222. Also would need to be near power lines, along roads that are suitable for the water trucks. It needs to be a convenient additional water source option for the rural fire department, so and geographically efficient, so near the users. Also, it has to be in an area that has the pressure and capacity for this future booster station. So the future booster station, basically, that will provide additional capacity for the regional system in the future. And due to topography, there's limited areas where we could put this future booster. Basically, it would need to be between Township Road 240 and Township Road 232 in order for it to be able to be used as a booster in the future. And so when it's along Range Road 22, there's basically 3 intersections that are the main areas where this can be, and that's Township Road 232, 234, and 240. So this slide shows a map of what I was just talking about. So you can see that red arrow on the map. So in order for this to be feasible for a booster station, it needs to be somewhere in that length. So that's between 240 and 232. And along Range Road 222, which is where the regional water line is. Most of this Range Road 222 is undeveloped in this area, so that's why I've indicated the 3 intersections. The top slide is basically the northern portion, with the bottom picture being on the south end of that. So the top of the bubble you can see on the right-hand side of the top picture is where it connects to the bottom. So this slide shows the intersection at Township Road 232. At this intersection, the land is mainly unavailable. There's lots of oil and gas right-of-ways in this area, as well as an Encana facility on the southwest corner of this intersection. For Township Road 232, you can see there's a water course that runs very close to this area. And Township Road 234 is very soft in the spring and impassable when wet. The spring is usually the peak time for these truck fill stations. And Range Road 222 is also undeveloped here, so access is only along Township Road 234. And this slide is showing the intersection at Township Road 240. So this is the area where the truck fill is proposed, just on the northwest corner of the intersection where that star is. Basically, land is available. Also, access is suitable. This area is just technically sound. And this drawing here shows the proposed site plan. So it is just under 2 acres. The site will include, basically, it's an access road with a small building. The building's 12 feet by 22 feet. There's a parking pad on the west side of the lot. And also, to help mitigate the site and noise concerns, there'll be trees that are around the building, as well as a fence around the site. Also to mention on this, there's a power line on the south end of this site, which would also help with supplying power to the truck fill station. So this photo is basically showing another truck fill station that we did that is almost identical to the one we'll be putting in. The only difference is the door and the roof will be brown on this one. So it's a prefabricated steel building. It's about 12 feet by 22 feet. And for the truck fill capacity, there is a 16,000 gallon tank that will be underneath the building. And the bulk water fill rate is about 250 gallons per minute. So basically that can fill a 3,000 gallon truck in 12 minutes. And the 25-year design daily allocation for this truck fill is just over 30,000 gallons per day. That's assuming that storage tank is full and that Hussar is connected to the line. So to put that in a bit of perspective, we took a look at the 2017 water use for the Gleason truck fill, and the highest use day last year was 27,000 gallons. And the average in the month of May, which is the peak month, is just over 6,000 gallons per day. Okay, and that's a conclusion of our presentation.
Thanks, Sarah. Hi, everyone. just really quick, I will not take much of your time on this, but I would like to highlight few things. Wheatland Regional Corporation is partially owned by the county. So the ownership of the truck fill station is Wheatland Regional. In the meantime, because it's 50% funded by the government, the fund coming from the government is managed by the village of Rocky Ford, as the board had decided that the village of Rocky Ford will be managing the fund that comes through the government. And so as per the agreement with the government, it has to be in the name of Rocky Ford for 6 years, but again, it will be like Rocky Ford on behalf of the Wheatland Regional with all its partners. The other thing I would like to point out, actually a few things, that with the truck fill station, before we decided to go with the truck fill station, we have done consultation with the council here, our board, which represents also the other municipalities in the area. We had sent in October 2016 a survey to residents 2 miles on each side of the regional pipeline, and we have received the results that showed in this specific area, around 44% of the residents there, they are not happy with their water supply, and they would like to have access to a better water quality supply. We also have done consultation with the ASB here, actually, in this room as well, and we got their blessing and their support to have a truck fill station in this area. Another consultation was done with the fire departments in the municipalities, and again, they have supported the idea. One of the biggest advantages of having truck fill station in that area, it's actually in the middle between Standard and Gleason. So in case, God forbids, a fire is in the area, then the fire trucks would have easier access and quicker access to a station where they can refill their trucks. In general, residents in the area would benefit from not going too far from the area to get a water for their drinking needs or for their needs in their location, which basically takes out, traffic on the roads. It's safer. They don't have to go, longer distances. And as I said, because it's in the middle between Gleason and Standard, really, so it provides that easier access without really affecting much of the water supply in both communities. So I hope that you support this, and thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak in support of the application? People with concerns about the application that would like to speak? Includes council. Cool.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to note there are the 3 letters of opposition that were also part of your first reading package. They're included in the report as well for council's consideration. And that concludes any additional comments I have on the public hearing report aspect.
Thank you. Did everybody get a chance to review those letters? Sir? Okay.
So through the chair, excuse me, through the chair, is there any consideration to, because we have 3 letters in opposition and they all are across the road from the looks of the map, I think they're all right in that same area. Are we looking at anything around dust control?
Through the chair, we're moving away from dust control at this stage, but at the development permit stage, that would be considered through the development permit review. What we will try to do is, if council gives second and third reading today, we're looking to take this to Municipal Planning Commission on March 13th for consideration. And one of the conditions will be that landscaping plan, which will require fencing and landscaping to try to mitigate some of the visual effects. And we'll be entering into a development agreement with the developer and taking 125% securities for just the landscaping to make sure it lasts a few seasons. I know it's not the ideal solution for those adjacent residents, but it is a way we're trying to consider their feedback in this report. Dust control, we're re-looking at it as a condition because it gets tricky to condition it when it's not like a defined period of time that it would end. Like if we have it going on for many, many years, we really lose our hammer to control it through the development permit, but it will be considered at that stage.
Okay, as long as it's on record that we include that in that process so that we do take a look at the dust control. Okay.
There again, because we're disrupting three people, has there been any look into setting it back closer to the standard school? I mean, we've got the people around the area would be more used to higher traffic areas. It appears to be only a couple miles away on the same road. And it looks like just everything like being able for security wise and all that kind of stuff, which should be able to easier to do if you're across from the school.
Through the chair, when the initial pre-application meetings were made, we did recommend that the applicant look at other sites and consider more discussions with those adjacent residents because of how close they are. But in regards to your specific questions, I'm not sure if they wanted to come back up and speak to why that site may not work, or that's up to the chair.
A question that I would have is there any restriction on hours of operation, or is it 24/7?
Sorry, I'll answer the question first about the location near the school. There was the one map I had shown where basically there's limitations where we could put this truck fill because of the purpose of it in the future being a booster. So that Township Road 240 was basically as far north that we can go in order to get any additional capacity out of this as being a booster in the future. I could pull up that drawing again if you'd like. Okay.
Through the chair, in regards to the requirement for hours of operation, through the development permit, we can condition and look at what the hours of operation would be allowed for this facility. So staff does have some ability to control that. We do that in consultation with the applicant to make sure we're not hurting their business model as well.
No other concerns? Okay. Any final comments from staff? Kind of already did that. Okay, thank you. And we'll close the public hearing on that. Then we'll move back into council meeting. Go to item number 1.3, adoption of minutes. A, the February 6, 2018 regular council minutes.
I just have one minor correction. On page 9, addictions instead of additions.
Page 9, you said?
Page 9 of the package.
Real quick. Get that figured out?
It just says, it's speaking about Strathmore Wheatland Addictions Team, and it just says additions. It's just a spelling.
looking for a motion. Oh, well, we can adopt all those minutes together, can we not? Each motion, okay. So for the February 6th, looking for an adoption of minutes as read. Jason moves, all in favor? Carried. 1.3B, February 20, 2018, regular council minutes.
Just one other small correction. On page 22 of our package, page 7 of those minutes, it just discusses CAO Parkin and Councillor Link providing an update on their attendance. CAO Parkin wasn't available to attend the meeting, but he did provide background information.
To Resolution 180273, just a typing error. It should say northeast for the location, not northwest.
I'll move adoption of the minutes as corrected.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. 1.3C, February 20, 2018, public hearing minutes about the bylaw 2017-57.
So moved.
Ben moves. All in favor? Carried. 9:27. Barry's not here yet, eh? Oh, sorry.
Mr. Chairman, bylaw 2017-46, we'd like to have council consider first reading on that bylaw, please.
Okay.
That's for the road closures.
Yes. We'll move to 2.1A, and then we need 2.1B, 2017-52. Sorry, you don't need the first one? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is the second and third reading report for the bylaw that just closed public hearing for the truck fill to Public Utility District. As noted previously, we're not providing a recommendation due to our role in the Wheatland Regional Corporation. Options for council's consideration: that you approve bylaw 2017-59 with motions 1 and 2 that the bylaw be given second and third and final reading. And then option 2, that the bylaw be refused and the first reading of bylaw 2017-59 be rescinded. Or council can approve an alternate recommendation. My staff report is attached. It's very similar to the first reading report that went, noting the review of the South Saskatchewan Regional Plan, the county's regional growth management strategy, the municipal development plan, and the land use bylaw. Then goes into the circulation comments that were received, and that the 3 letters were received in opposition to this, as well as the letter in support from the applicant. Just go through the maps again. It's the location plan, submitted site plan, and the bylaw map, and then everyone that was circulated within a mile radius. So I'll just go back up to the recommendation, or the options. And that closes my presentation. Thank you, council.
Thank you.
I'll move second reading.
Second reading. All in favor of Ben's motion? Carried. You'll move third. Okay. All in favor of Jason's motion, move third and final read? Carried.
Why aren't we doing the other one, the first one? What was? It's already done. We don't need second and third? Oh, right.
Okay. Is everybody clear on that? Okay. Is our 9:30 appointment here? One's missing?
So, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Marashito, Mayor Marashito confirmed with me this morning that he won't be able to attend, so he is available by phone.
Okay.
But Craig Dobson from the consulting firm Warwick is here to do a presentation in regards to dark fiber. So.
Okay. Please use the mic and introduce yourself.
Technology. Where would we be without it? Good morning. Thank you for having us here today. My name is Walter Valentini. I'm just going to speak for a few minutes before Craig Dobson arrives here, and he's just sitting back there. We have been working on a broadband initiative for the last 3 years, maybe 3.5 or 4, depending how you count. I've been following the path that has been created by Calgary Regional Partnership, who no longer are currently in existence. However, we decided to retain the same consultant to do some of the base work that we required so that we weren't actually paying for the same information over and over again. And then because we have two rather distinct regions with different numbers of municipalities and villages, and some have cities, big and small, we need to look at different options in terms of how we could potentially address the rural broadband challenge. So Palliser Economic Partnership has at least the board of directors, have decided to continue on with this project. We've put some dollars in a budget to carry forward, and we're going to try to go the last mile and include a number of the Calgary region communities in the initiative. How it's going to work, we don't know. We just had an initial meeting in Brooks a few weeks ago, and we're going to go from there. So with that, we would probably best to hear from Craig, and I think Amber has heard all this before, so being at the meeting in Brooks, you'll hear it again. So, but thank you for the opportunity to speak to you.
Thank you.
And the request to go in camera is...
You got HDMI? Sorry.
That's fine. We need to, yeah.
I'd like to move that we go on camera for Mr. Dobson's presentation under FOIP Section 16. It's a confidential presentation at this point.
All in favor of that? Jason?